Hey everyone, this is a run through of my rig with my EVH 50 watt head and cabinet, which has been reloaded with the Celestion Creamback 65s. I just think it's a warmer sound. I actually just bought it that way, so I didn't hear the other ones, but these sounded amazing, especially with my guitar, which is an Axis, Ernie Ball Axis. That's the one I'll be using for everything. I'm going to do 3 demos today. One, I'm just going to go through my pedal board and my pod, and then I'm going to go through, I'll have 2 separate videos with me playing through it. The biggest thing is I'm just not video savvy, so I can't really edit them and make them all nice and pretty later on. But anyway, I'm using a pedal python to kind of keep all my cables. Although you see a lot of cables there, it's really very simple. There's 5 cables that I use because I'm also using, I have a MIDI cable in there. So when I'm not using this channel switcher, the MIDI cable can be used with the pod, and I can switch all my channels that way. And as you'll see here, each cable can be used dual. So the Pod FX Send is what I would use it when I'm using the pod, or this tuner when I'm using it on this side. And same thing for all of these, are double labeled. And I did it in a way where you could read it from either side. So basically, my pedal board is very simple. Go into the wah pedal, MXR Phase 90, which is EVH, the flanger EVH, and a tuner, which is a nice buffer to give a long signal run, because I'm running about 21 feet or so, like something around there, to the actual head. I'm using a Mogami input cable, and these are monster cables. They're not the great monster cables, but they're good. Same for the loop. I don't think for the loop you don't lose that pre-signal, which isn't as bad. You do lose some post-signal, which it just doesn't make as big of a difference, I don't think. But both of these pedals are buffered anyway, but I always have the reverb on. I just use a little plate reverb, and that's actually the way I have everything set. Uh-oh, something's wrong. I'll have to fix that. But that's the way I have everything set in my pod as well, where the reverb is on, and it's the same for the clean or the dirty channels. And then I can run this delay in many different ways. I like using set times, and I like being able to tap in times, and I like that it has 4 different ones, and sometimes I just use the manual because that's easier also. But very simple setup, and pretty much I do the same thing with the pod. The only difference in the pod is I can run whammy and octave type effects. I have it set up where, I have the clean, 2 crunches, and the lead, and then you can see how I have those set up. The pitch can be a tube screamer if I want. Really don't need that with the 5150, I don't think. Some people say there's tone suck with the Pod HD. If there is, it's minimal. I would assume, and again, it's just an assumption, but I assume that it's maybe a buffered system as well. So I don't really see how you're losing anything. You would lose more with true bypass than you would, running it like this, especially with 2 20-foot cables. Or somewhere in that range. Anything over 20 feet, I think you're losing a little bit of signal. You can see from my pedal python, how the cables are set up, and I have all the cables running to this, and I also have, as I said, the MIDI cable, which is run to the pod when I use the pod. All the ones that go into the amp are set up, they don't have to move. So either one that I change this out through, I can change it out through. The one thing I like about the pod is that I can turn the master volume down in the loop, and I don't have to play as loud. And since I just had twins just about 2 weeks ago, I have to kind of play quiet when I can. I have, like I said, a wah-wah pedal set up in here for phasal, or I use a whammy, and I just have my bank set up where I have 2 banks right now, and the second bank being the whammy type effects. See if you can see that. So I have it pretty much set up the same. The only difference, all other difference in the pod is that I have a gate set up. It's just nice to have. I like feeling that it stops when I stop. I use a volume knob for everything. I don't need a volume pedal. And I think though a gate, normal gate, like on the pedal board, would kind of kill the sound. I also like the fact that what I'm using right now is basically an ISO 5 I don't have to use a lot of power to power everything here. I'm only daisy chaining the giga delay and the reverb. Everything else is on its own power supply, and that works out great for me. So, alright, next thing I'm going to do is do an actual demo of this pedal board, and then I'll do another demo of the pod and kind of compare the two. I don't really think there's much of a difference.